This week on Half Step Down, it's all things Star Wars. Jose and I are going to be talking about May the 4th and why Revenge of the 5th is not a real holiday. We'll also be talking about the differences between restrooms and bathrooms and why Jose gets mad because I'm so...
Oh, your mic kicked out, Renee. But you're right, you are pretty annoying. Anyway, let me just get to the plugs. You can go to halfstepdownpod.com to find all things Half Step Down related. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at halfstepdownpod. Don't forget to like and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. And please remember that if you like what you hear, use hashtag halfstepdownpod to help spread the word. And make sure you also use hashtag road to 100 so we can get that 100 subscribers on YouTube. It would give us a custom URL, which will make us a lot easier to find on there.
Enjoy the show.
And remember, never mess with the guy that edits the show. Half Step Down starts now. I don't know, but you're recording now.
Is it good time? Are you ready for a good time, baby? Or is it good night?
I don't know.
You know, my dad, when he was... when it would be like 3 a.m, and my dad would have his headphones on,
yeah,
and just music blasting from like where the kitchen is here all the way to my room, and I would walk up and I'd be like, "Dad, can you lower it?" And he'd just scream at the top of his lungs, "What?" And I was like, "Dad, you lower it. The neighbors can hear you screaming right now." I wanted to talk about that because you had your headphones on and you yelled earlier.
I'm trying to get the levels.
Yeah,
I'm doing all the audio.
Doing all the sound, all the audio.
I'm handling
sound check. That's what I meant. Sound check.
I'm handling the audio.
Yeah,
today.
The sound check. Welcome everyone to Half Step Down, where two aging punk rockers talk about punk rock, popular culture, and everything in the middle. In between, not in the middle. Let's try that again.
Keep going.
Welcome everyone to Half Step Down, where two aging punk rockers talk about punk rock, popular culture, and everything in between.
There it is.
We are your hosts, Renee Grano and the Mandalorian, Jose Martinez.
This is the way.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm doing good.
How was your Mother's Day?
It was not bad.
How was your wife's Mother's Day, I guess?
You know, very nice. She got some gifts she'd been looking forward to. It was a Mother's Day with all the moms, so that she still had some responsibilities in terms of getting stuff ready. So not as carefree as she would have liked, but it was still nice.
That's cool. You know what? It's always nice to have the moms around. I saw this thing once, an article online where Mother's Day is the biggest holiday in the United States.
Really?
Yeah, but in front of Christmas and all that other stuff. And if you look at it, it actually makes sense because obviously Christmas was a religious holiday, and so was Easter.
Yeah.
Right? And Mother's Day is not a religious holiday, I think. From what I read, I got to find that article so I can post it on the show notes later. But from what last time I checked, it was the biggest holiday in
biggest
all
in
of
terms
the
of
States.
what?
In like people celebrating Mother's Day,
because
not everybody celebrates Christmas or Easter or Hanukkah or right.
I guess I could sort of see that. I mean, everyone does something for their mom.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I would think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, today's a very special episode. We are obviously as the audience may well know at this point, we like to do things a little differently, where we like to do episodes of things that have already happened.
That happens from time to time. Yes, that does.
That happens quite often, like quite more often than we'd like to like, honestly say. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And what better way to celebrate the month of May than outside of the Justin Timberlake? It's gonna be May.
My favorite meme.
Yes,
my favorite meme.
But Star Wars Day, May the 4th.
Be with you.
Every time I say that, I go, "May the Schwartz be with you." That's what I say.
I always go, and also with you, because I was raised Catholic.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about Star Wars Day, and we're going to talk a little bit about how some of our awesome experiences, you and I as friends and cousins and fans of Star Wars have celebrated a couple of Star Wars days from time to time together. I would think the most memorable one, which we will get into in a little bit,
right,
was the costume contest.
That was one of the better ones.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Yes, yeah. We're definitely gonna mention that. But Jose, what is your tradition on May the 4th? Be with you.
I don't know if I really have like a set in stone tradition.
Mm-hmm.
I do try to watch something Star Wars related.
Uh-huh.
However, the past 2 years, thanks to Disney Plus, there's been like appointment TV for me.
Yeah.
So, with this year, we had the premiere of the Bad Batch episode.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Which is the new animated spin-off of the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I believe Star Wars Day was when we got the first episode of the last season of Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And so the last couple Star Wars Days have been just
purely animated.
Purely animated.
Purely animated.
So I've been excited. I really like the animated
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars stuff.
I usually tend to watch The Empire Strikes Back. The Clone Wars is an amazing show.
Yeah.
I finally got to finish the last season, which is highly recommended.
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten around to Bad Batch yet. That's going to be on my list and over the summer. I have a lot of things to catch up on over the summer, and I'll be taking a break from my education.
Right.
So I will be diving into a lot of media in the next couple of months. So
that's for sure.
yes, but mine is always watching The Empire Strikes Back. And last year I also watched The Clone Wars was one that I watched. So I think last year was the first time I didn't watch a Star Wars movie per se on Star Wars Day.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a good question for you.
Right.
What about Revenge of the Fifth? How do you feel about that?
You know what? I think being that Star Wars Day is just kind of a made up thing.
Well, not to us.
And not to us.
Of course.
May the 5th feels even more like a made up thing.
Yeah.
And I think it was just
It was just a play on words that fit
it just
perfectly.
somebody's like, I know what to do. Aha.
Yes.
Watch me.
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to be evil on May the 5th, right?
Yeah.
Or Revenge of the 5th, and
Yes.
then Light Side on the 4th.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't celebrate.
I don't really celebrate that. It's mostly just looking forward to all the cool shit, like the TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
They usually announce something on that day,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm always just kind of ear to the ground for that.
The lightsabers this year.
So I think
Was that on May 4th?
It might have been. So
Yeah.
we have talked about these. Apparently, Disney's releasing like movie quality, at least visually,
Yeah.
retractable lightsaber toys.
Stunning.
Well, the video was released, and I want to say it was May the
Yeah.
Star Wars Day. I don't remember, but it does look pretty legit.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to be like the kind of lightsabers where you can hit them, because I looked at how they work. Like somebody released like the patent information. And it's basically like a tape measure.
I have one in my room.
Like it works like a bent over tape measure. So
That's
like
too easy.
That's how it like works.
You set me up for those.
Mom,
You set me up for both of those.
what did I do?
You talked about tape measure, so I have one in my room. It was a joke.
Right.
Yeah. And then you say bend over, and I said that's too easy.
That's a bit of a pull. But I'll give it to you.
All right.
I'll give it to you.
I tried.
You did. You did try. You did.
I did. I tried, and kudos to the fact. Just A for effort. Can I get an A for effort?
I'm going to give you an A for effort. I am.
Okay. Jose, what are some memorable moments on May 4th that you celebrating May 4th? Like, what are some of those moments that you remember more specifically? Because I have some moments, and I have some moments with you, and I think we will definitely be talking about that particular May the 4th. But
look, I'm going to be honest, man. Other than that, May the 4th, it's been a pretty uneventful day.
Okay.
In terms of like
doing stuff.
Yeah. It's usually like me just watching Star Wars.
Yeah.
Or kind of geeking out.
Sure.
Tell me about your better celebrations, and then we'll go into May the 4th. I'm going to look up the year because it was, obviously on Star Wars
I think
Day,
it was 15.
Google reminded me.
Yeah.
It was like, here are some pictures of that day. So I'm going to pull them up.
Okay. So there was one event that was pretty awesome. Our cousin Romeo, if we're considered big Star Wars fans, he is probably the biggest Star Wars fan that we know.
I would have to say.
Well, that's kind of like a double entendre because
let's qualify that. Yeah,
okay.
Qualify that.
Because he's not necessarily a Star Wars universe fan. He is a vintage Star Wars fan. Anything that has been released after Return of the Jedi, he just hates. I'm surprised he liked Mandalorian, because I just expected him to go in with just this like angst and just hate on the fact that they're Star Wars broke up with me. Disney took my life away. It's like, well, it's not meant for you. Right? But I will give him the fact that his collection is amazing.
Yeah, I have seen his collection, and it is pretty legit, man.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen as detailed a collection and is kind of complete in terms of the vintage Star
the Kenner
Wars stuff.
Yeah, the vintage Kenner. Yeah. And it's a beautiful. Yeah, he has a room dedicated to it, so it's amazing. So that's always pretty cool to see. I think he's missing just a couple things like variants here and there and like accessories, but he's basically done. From what I believe is he's basically at this point he's like collecting the trading cards and everything vintage Kenner is in more than likely in his room.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we went to a Star Wars celebration outside in Riverside County, which is east of us.
Are you talking about the one we went to?
No.
Oh, okay. All right, go.
Yeah. Is that east, right? Riverside County's east, right?
Riverside County, yeah.
Okay, so east. I want to say about an hour away, probably a little longer than that. It was a big convention hall, and a friend of his who is a vendor who sells, a toy vendor. He went and had a section there to sell toys, and he had asked my cousin had asked him if he can use a little part of that booth to sell some of the Star Wars stuff that he doesn't have, right? That he wants to get rid of.
Right.
Like some of the newer stuff. So I remember we went there, had a couple beers. It was so much fun to just see all of these people in their costumes. And it was so cool to see that. It's always cool to go to a celebration where like something that people love so much that it's become a holiday for people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even though it's a made up holiday, for Star Wars fans, it's not a made up holiday. It's kind of like 420, right? It's just they're made up holidays, but we love them so much. Well, May the 4th.
May the 4th.
Yeah. And so that was a lot of fun. I had this ongoing joke with him the whole time. Mm-hmm. Is when he was selling his toys, the collectibles and stuff that he had. I'd always come up with the line, "Yeah, he's getting over Star Wars. He's getting more into Guardians of the Galaxy." And I remember he'd look at me and say, "Can you stop? That's not funny." And I would say it every time because I wanted to see if I would catch somebody to laugh.
Right.
I was like, "Yeah, he's into Guardians of the Galaxy now." And then people would just look at me like, "Dude, you're stupid."
Right.
Like that's not even like
they don't have time for that.
Yeah, they don't have time
mess.
for some stupidness. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was fun. That was probably not my most memorable Star Wars day, but definitely a very fun Star Wars day.
That was a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we have to talk about our Star Wars day.
So that was, I looked it up, 2014.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it was a while. I remember, like, you said 15. I'm like, I was married.
Okay.
Or about to be married.
Yeah, so 7 years ago now.
So 7 years ago.
To the date. 7 years ago to the date. Well, not the date, but almost.
Almost. 7-year anniversary passed.
Yeah.
It was in Glendale. I forgot the name of the place.
Was it the Shortstop?
It wasn't the Shortstop. It had some weird name.
Okay.
They were having a comedy show / costume party or like cosplay contest. It was a Star Wars themed night.
Mm-hmm. Even the comedians were doing Star Wars esque jokes as if they were like in the cantina. I don't know if you remember that. They were like as if they were in the cantina making Star Wars related jokes about Leia and Luke and just things about the universe.
I know they did a lot of Star Wars material. I just remember you for a while. The comedian would ask like, "What do anime characters or something like jerk off to?" And you'd scream, "Street Fighter!"
Yeah, just super blitzed. By that point.
Yeah, you were. I was. I mean, well, let's get into what happened.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm okay. So
I remember. I will tell you where I will tell you. Here are some memorable things. Marta comes with us.
Yes, she was dressed up as an Ewok.
She dressed up as an Ewok.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
She got hit on by a little person. The little person was like, I should be wearing that. And then it was he had some game. This little guy. It was hilarious.
She left early too, huh?
She left early.
Yeah, she left you there. Well, because I told her to leave him here. I'll take him home.
We'll take which you did. But after she left, it was just kind of like, all right, let's go get some drinks.
Yeah.
The comedians are up there.
I was yelling Street Fighter.
You're yelling Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Let's have a few more drinks.
Because I love Street Fighter.
Yeah,
I was very into Street Fighter at the time. Yeah. I was playing competitively at that time.
Around that point, I want to say it's around the time the costume party starts. The costume.
The contest. Yeah, no, that stuff. And by the way, there were some amazing looking costumes.
There were some great costumes.
Yeah, there was the Darth Vader. It basically looked as if it was like the 501st was there. Like, that's how good those costumes
There were some,
looked.
yeah.
Yeah, they look great.
But at this point, I'm going off the rails.
Okay. So let's stop there. Okay. So I'll tell you what I remember from there on, because I'm assuming you're jumping to the contest.
Yeah, because up until then, it's just us having a good time.
Yes, correct.
And nothing out of line has happened yet.
Exactly. So,
but we're getting there.
Yeah. So we have a group of our friends. We had you, our friend Shankar.
Shankar was there.
Paul.
Our
an old coworker of mine, Marie, and then me.
Yeah.
There's 5 of us, right? Including and then Marta. But then Marta leaves. Yeah, right? So there's 5 of us. I said, perfect. I brought my car. This fits 5 of us. We're good.
Right.
We're good. So we go and get some drinks. They're super cool. They have some awesome names, like, some names that go with the drink. You're having a lightsaber martini, right? Or this, whatever it is, right?
They basically themed out the whole bar.
They themed out the whole thing. It was great. Next thing you know, I'm having some drinks. Paul and I are having a good time laughing, like just taking pictures with Vader, I think it was. And the next thing you know, this is when they it was after the comedians, they started doing the costume contest. And I remember walking outside. This is when I smoked. So I went outside to have a cigarette. I came back inside, and Paul says, "Where's your cousin?" And I said, "I have no clue." So we start looking around.
I know where I am.
You know where you're at.
Yeah.
I look over, and Paul looks at me and goes, "Hey, I think I found him." I said, "Okay." He says, "Is that him up on stage with his shirt off?"
That's right.
And I look over, and there's Jose and Shankar, mind you, with their T-shirts off.
Right.
And I'll never forget it because, so for the audience who doesn't really see, obviously they don't see us, Jose has he's a little taller than I am. You have this stance where sometimes I feel, especially when you're drinking, I've noticed that you tend to push your shoulders back and your stomach comes out.
Yeah.
Right? The gut comes out, right? It's just we all do. The gut comes out.
It's full. It's like a Superman, but way over the hill.
Yeah. So
because I stand and I put my hands on my shoulders.
You do this. I remember you do this.
My hands on my hips.
Your hands are this way. Yeah. Your hands are on your shoulders. Your leg is facing forward, like you're posing for a picture. And I remember just looking over and I'm laughing, dying laughing. I'm like, why are they up there with all of these amazing looking cosplayers or costumes, and yet they have no shirts on? And then that's where you come in.
So this is what happened. Shankar and I had gone to the bathroom.
Yes.
Which is in the back of this bar.
It's a restroom, not a bathroom.
Restroom.
Yes.
Bathroom.
You know what the difference between a restroom and a bathroom?
Go ahead, tell me the joke.
No, it's not a joke. It's real.
What is it?
Bathrooms have bathtubs.
Oh, okay.
You'll never find a bathroom in a public setting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, common vernacular,
sure.
Restroom, bathroom, whatever it may be. I don't know why you wanted to derail the whole story with that, but it is what it is.
Sometimes my mind wanders.
Whatever, man. Anyway, so I go to the bathroom because I think it actually did have a small bathtub in there.
Yeah. Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a really nice place.
Was it a sink? I'm assuming it's just called a sink.
No, it was a really nice bathtub.
Oh, okay.
You weren't there, man. You didn't know.
That's true. Was it porcelain?
Well, yeah.
When you say I'm thinking about yay high, about 2 palm sizes, and it's just like a porcelain bathtub.
No, it was a full-on bathtub.
Oh, okay.
I'm telling you right now.
Okay.
Full-on is a bathroom.
Right. So this has gone.
It's because you're being a dick and you decided to derail the whole story because you wanted to get in a little quip, but that's all right,
Okay.
Renee. It's cool.
Okay.
Anyway, I go back there.
And
there's a hallway. Where does this go? It's just got like a little like a curtain.
Yeah.
Walk through the curtain. It's the fucking stage. So then me and Shankar are like, well, there's no one here guarding the stage. We might as well go on.
Yeah.
And there was one of the costume people was the Rancor Man. Do you remember Rancor Man?
I do, yeah.
He was the Rancor, the guy that cried.
Yeah.
And I look way more like Rancor Man than Rancor Man did. So we were just like, well, fuck it. Let's just get on stage. We'll take off our shirts. We'll say we're the other Rancor guys. And it's about then that the tape starts to get fuzzy. And I start to not remember.
Yeah. That'll happen. That'll definitely happen. After that, I think I went up there and said, Jose, get down. And you're like, no, it's cool. It's cool. I said, Jose, get off stage. You're like, no, it's cool. I said, I remember Paul was like, do you want to get him off stage? I said, I'm trying to, but he's not listening. I said, all right, whatever. I'll let him do his thing. Because first off, it's weird when these two dudes just have their T-shirts off, right? And I think from what I remember, they asked you what you were, and you said the other Rancor guys.
I said other Rancor Man,
The other Rancor Man. Yeah. And I remember we were the only ones that probably cheered. I remember my old coworker Marie was like, what's going on? I said, let's go have another cigarette because I'm just out of it right now. The night is coming to a close. Should we get to the end? Should we get to where Jose ends up at the end of the night?
I'll tell you where I ended up in the bathroom of a Denny's.
That's right. The best part is you asked us to order you the Lumberjack Slim, and then you go to the restroom, and we never see you again.
That's right.
And we're like, well, let's box it. So I go over there, and mind you, you're sitting there. You're sitting on the toilet. It's a restroom, by the way.
Yeah. There was a bath in that one too.
There was no bath. You were drunk. You don't remember.
No, there was a bath there.
You're wrong. That's
the
Windmill Denny's. The Windmill Denny's
it's a really nice bath in there. Look, man, if you're going to derail every one of my stories, I'm going to derail every one of yours, man.
So we get into the.
I had you say bathroom. It's a normal colloquialism. You can say bathroom. You don't have to be a dick about it.
I walk into the restroom. I knock on the stall. I open it, and you're sitting there. Mind you, you're not using the toilet. You're just sitting on the toilet.
Right.
And I said, hey, your food's here. Just bring it to me. And I said, okay. So we go, and I said, can you box this? So they box it, and I take it to the restroom.
It's actually called a container.
A container. Okay, now you're just being a super dick.
Well, you see why that is?
Well, first,
you see how that's frustrating?
I said it because I thought it was an interesting fact. Now you're just being a super dick.
Well, now you need to work on what an interesting fact
that
is.
That is an interesting fact. I bet you today you had no clue that a restroom and a bathroom are two totally different entities.
It's just a colloquial. It's a thing. People say restroom and bathroom.
But they shouldn't. It has to be said correctly.
Are you going to be the guy that's going to start trying to correct everyone?
Yes.
You go to college for 3 years, and now you're all of a sudden the guy that's going to correct. Don't be that college guy.
You're going to tell me that I haven't done that beforehand? You're going to tell me that I wasn't doing that beforehand?
No, you were not.
I was always correcting people's grammar before college.
You do not do that. You do not become that guy.
I've been that guy for a long time.
You be cool guy about it.
Okay, I will be the cool. What has two thumbs and is cool?
The letter A does not have two thumbs.
No one can see how that.
You see how that derails the story.
This has been derailed.
You see how that derails the story.
Okay, I'm going to finish my story.
Go ahead. I will stop now.
We do need to talk about how when we got to the car, you're like, I want to sit on the. You want to sit in the back seat on the edge.
I did because I wanted to sing out the window.
And you gave me your glasses because you were ready to barf. I will give you credit to the fact that you gave me. To the fact that you decided to give us that you gave me your glasses because you knew they were going to fall out. As an avid glasses wearer, I commend you for that.
I am really good, even if I'm really drunk, at making sure that all the things I have stay in one piece.
Correct.
Whether it be there was everyone tells this story about the first time I ever threw up. It was at a bar in Hollywood. I think it was called the Blue Boar. My friend's birthday. And
did you just burp on the mic right now?
I did. I did just burp on the mic.
These gross.
Are my mics.
Yeah. But I don't think the audience wants to hear you burp.
I can edit it out.
Oh.
Since I'm the one that edits the show, Renee.
That's true. Are you okay today? Did you drink a bottle of Haterade before you got here?
I'm just saying, man, if you get to derail my story every time.
Okay, sorry. That's what I do here.
That's right.
I derail. I'm a host and I derail. I'm a derailing host.
You're a derailing host.
Yeah.
So I'm there.
Uh-huh.
I had way too much. It was one of these things where we had bought a lot of pre-game stuff.
Pre-game.
Okay.
Pre-game?
Pre-game stuff.
Okay.
In terms of like, I don't know what the prices are going to be like here.
Yeah.
So
smart.
I drank a lot.
Sure. It happens to the best of us.
I'm wearing a pea coat.
Okay.
Do you know what a pea coat is?
I do know what a pea coat is. Yeah.
You gave me this look like, what? It's like a,
No, I know what a pea coat is.
So I walk out. I know I'm going to barf. And I make sure to just put everything behind me. And I just throw up onto the floor. I don't know why there was a shrink-wrapped steak on the floor where I threw up. There must have been like a restaurant or something must have happened where a pre-wrapped, like shrink-wrapped steak was just laying on the floor. And I threw up on it. And some guys walk by and go, holy shit, that guy just threw up a whole steak. And then like everyone was just like, holy shit, you just threw up a whole steak. And I'm like, did I just throw up a whole steak?
Oh, that's how belligerent you were.
That's how belligerent I was.
Wow. That's brutal.
But I mean, but everyone was impressed. Like, dude, you didn't get any on your clothes.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, man. Like,
kudos to that.
It's just been a skill of mine.
Yeah. I was, I do remember, this is definitely heading to throw up stories now, aren't they?
We should try to bring it back to Star Wars, but let's do one more.
Okay. I remember just being completely blitzed. I had a thing where halfway through the night I would yak, and then I'd be like, all right, where's my next beer? And I remember one time I was in the middle of a conversation with some people, and we had just finished taking a shot, and I was trying to keep it in, right? And I was like, oh, I'm going to barf. But I'm trying, you know one of those like,
oh, yeah.
And then you're like swallowing your spit, and you're just like, this isn't good. So I'm in the middle of the conversation. Next thing you know, I just go, excuse me. I look over and whoop, just barf in the bush. I'm like, all right, bro, I'll take another beer. And I was good.
I've seen guys like that.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting skill.
Yeah, very interesting. I don't know if I'd call it a skill.
I would say it's a skill.
Okay.
Because you're gonna drink too much.
You know what a skill is? Is knowing the difference between a restroom and a bathroom.
I would say that's more of an annoying fact. That apparently you develop because someone decides they're going to be the smartest guy in the world. Grammar Nazi over here.
So I take the food to the restroom. You're sitting there.
It's not my restroom, by the way.
I don't own that restroom. I said to the restroom.
You misspoke.
I said to the restroom. I did not say to your restroom.
But you see how it's annoying when someone points out when they misspeak?
I didn't misspeak.
Do you see how that slows things down?
Back to the story.
All right.
I have the food in my hand. I walk into this restroom where you're sitting on this toilet. I go, hey, your food's here. Okay, let's go. Okay.
Right.
And that was the end of Star Wars Night as I remember. I remember just heading home. But you woke up the next morning with what?
I woke up the next morning with a lumberjack slam next to my head. Mm-hmm. I did not eat it. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I don't know if you would eat. That sounds kind of gross.
No, man. I don't think. I mean, let's be honest, man. We shouldn't be eating at Denny's anyway.
Yeah.
But it is the only thing open 24 hours.
Yeah, my dad loved Denny's. He was such a big fan of Denny's.
One of the things I don't get is during the pandemic, there are people at Denny's. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, wouldn't you rather go to like a better restaurant?
Yeah.
But then I also understand that Denny's is kind of like comfort food.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Yeah. I love pancakes. Pancakes is definitely a comfort food.
Pancakes is. Yeah. I don't know if I get them from Denny's though.
Oh, I love me some Denny's. Norm's is right down they're right next to each other. So I think here, especially late night, I think we usually just stick with Norm's if we have to.
If I had a choice between the two, I'd go Norm's.
Yeah. I realize that Denny's and Norm's, their food isn't as good late night as it is in the morning or in the afternoon.
You see, the thing, I don't think I haven't been to a Norm's like at normal hours in a long time.
Yeah. I think last time I went to Norm's was when we went to go see Coheed and Cambria.
Probably.
Did we go to Denny's or Norm's? One of the two.
It must have been one of the two. I don't remember exactly which one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a while.
It has been. Jose, what are some of your favorite Star Wars character, Star Wars scenes, moments? What makes Star Wars for you Star Wars?
I mean, for me, it makes Star Wars. It's having those memories as a kid. Like that was the movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was Star Wars. It was Ninja Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, though, I think I've been more into. I'm not one of the haters of the. I like all of it. I was a pretty big hater of the prequels for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's. They remind me of Blood In, Blood Out. And I'll explain to you why. And this all comes back
Interesting.
together. Blood In, Blood Out and Star Wars the prequels have this in common. At the core of those movies, there is a really good story.
At the core, there's technically a Gundam village.
A Gundam village?
Yeah. Gungan. Sorry, I said Gundam. Damn.
Notice how I didn't point it out. I just let it go.
Continue.
Just kind of being nice about it. You know what I mean?
Continue.
Keeps the flow of the story.
Now you're just being sarcastic. And I
Keeps
don't
the flow
appreciate
going.
that.
Just letting you know.
Okay. That's what she says.
So, at the core of these two movies, there's an epic story, right?
Sure.
So you've got this story of redemption and like falling, or like this story of a falling from grace, redemption, all this stuff. It's just wrapped in a package of awkward acting, weird lines, strange directorial choices that make it kind of funny. So, for example, I recently got a text. I don't know if this is true. From our buddy Shankar, who found this post on Reddit that said, "Lines George Lucas kept in," and it said, "Anakin, I hate sand." The famous "I hate sand" speech from, I think, was it episode 2? And then it says lines that he cut out, and the line, it was Obi-Wan talking to Padme, and it was a good paragraph that said basically, "You're in love with him. I've known you've been in love with him since the moment he saw you. And I never said anything because you were the only thing that made him happy." And it's like, holy shit, that's deep. Why wouldn't you keep that?
Yeah. Instead of I hate sand.
And cut out I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
Or what else? What is it? Are you an angel?
My absolute favorite line. "I wish I could just wish my feelings away." That is a verbatim line.
Yeah.
I wish I could just wish my feelings away. Yeah. And I always, I used to love the Red Letter Media guys. Did you ever watch the Red Letter Media?
I did, yeah.
Now I just feel like they hate on every movie for the sake of hating on it.
Yeah.
Although they are pretty funny, so I got to give it to them.
I think that's kind of their shtick, though.
I think that's
their shtick at this point.
I just always feel like we don't need more of that anymore.
Yeah.
But they are funny. But it one of the things he always talked about is that it feels like they just shot one take and we're like, that's good. Let's just move on.
It's as if Kevin Smith was directing Star Wars.
Yeah, just move it on.
Just move it on.
And
stick to the script and move it
and
on.
And people could be like, I can do it again. No. We got it.
We got it.
Just move on.
Yeah.
All right.
I think I've said it before on the show is I feel that those prequels are actually at the core, like you said, are very good stories. It's just, again, just repeating what you said, is the fact that it's surrounded by bad directing, right? Bad directing choices, questionable acting, right? Things like that. But if you were to make these into if they were just novels, I think it would have been okay. Because it's about, I just really enjoy the political aspect of these prequels and how it ends up. At the end of the day, these show you how the original trilogy begins, and I think that's an amazing thing to see at times.
Well, it paints this picture, because for years we knew that there was something called the Clone Wars, but we didn't know what that meant.
Yes.
So it's kind of like having it flushed out, having it have some reality, and like, oh, it's over trade disputes, which is what a war would start over. Makes it kind of cool and like grounded in something. Yeah. But then then you have Jar Jar Binks running around and doing stuff.
And how it becomes a socialist, how how it just turns into this socialist regime, you know what I mean? And it just like, hey, let's give this to,
socialist regime or like he takes it over and makes an empire, like a fascist empire.
Yeah, sorry,
right?
a fascist empire. I apologize. Yes,
No.
Yeah.
So
but yes, correct. Yeah, like a fascist. Yeah, fascism at its finest.
And it's just watching this guy pull the strings. And I will give it like there are valid criticisms, right?
Sure.
Like in the first one, I don't really know who the bad guy is because I just know it's this guy. And Darth Maul's the bad guy because he looks like a bad guy.
Yeah, Darth Maul. You got to admit though, Darth Maul looks badass though.
And then here's the thing, right? This is where it started to turn for me. Once I started watching the Clone Wars cartoon, in an order that made sense, because that's the other thing that kind of like ruined it was Clone Wars the cartoon was released out of order.
Out of order. Yeah.
And not even like, episode 1 is where episode 6 should be.
Yeah.
It's like
Season 4, episode 3
should be. It's like it's not even near
after season 2, episode 3.
Yeah, so it's just totally messed up.
Yeah.
And then
but I actually, that's how I watched it the second time, and it actually makes so much more sense.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is, there's a lot of, and I guess this is just something that is going to happen with a Star Wars cartoon. There's just a lot of filler.
Yeah,
there's a lot of just like one-off episodes that are just like Adventure of the Week. But if you watch the actual like core episodes, it's like, oh shit, this really does flesh out what everyone's going through.
Yeah.
And what they're doing and why it's happening.
How exciting was it to see a double-edged lightsaber though in the late 90s? Like that was awesome.
The first time I saw that, it fucking blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I didn't even think, I don't know why I wouldn't think it's possible, but probably because it's dangerous as fuck and like really. But it's just like, dude, he's got a double edge, and he's taking on 2 Jedis.
Yeah.
I mean, the other side of that,
I actually think that lightsaber battle is pretty cool.
Well, that's the other thing that I think for me was kind of eye opening. It was like, oh, this is the Jedi. This is what Jedis are supposed to look like.
Yeah.
These crazy like ninjas.
Yeah.
The closest we had to that was, Vader versus Luke in Empire, and Vader versus Luke in Return of the Jedi.
And in Return of the Jedi, I think is a little more. I think it's the classic one, right? Like it's a little more. I don't want to. I guess the word isn't abrupt, but it's not as finely. I guess a little more finely tuned than the Empire one, right? But that's the closest we had was to what these Jedis were supposed to be, I guess.
Yeah, and that's also like, so in kind of reading, like doing like reading and like looking up Star Wars stuff.
Sure.
They talk about how originally George Lucas said the lightsabers are supposed to you're supposed to act like they're really heavy, like they're broadswords.
Yeah.
And I think as time went on, it's like, well, you can do some really cool stuff with this.
With
like
these
they're
sabers.
lighter.
Yeah.
Just, I know like one of the red letter media criticisms was like the fights in the prequels are so flashy, like they're overly done, but they look cool. Obviously.
They look cool, yeah. I actually don't mind the Phantom Menace lightsaber battle.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I think it might be the best one compared to the others.
And I think like
out of like the prequels, I think that's the
in terms
the
of
best
like
one.
in terms of like I think I would. I mean, obviously the fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin at the end was pretty rad.
Yeah.
But I think nothing for me beat that first time seeing 2 Jedi go after essentially what I would have called a dark Jedi, but a Sith, right? Like they're fighting for the first time.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like it was a cool thing to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I still think as novels, I think they would have been.
I think they would have been better as comic books or something. Or I don't know, maybe just
the game was hard. The Phantom Menace game.
I never played it.
That game was so hard on the PlayStation. I remember there was a point towards the end where you're Obi-Wan and you're supposed to get to Darth Maul and Qui-Gon at the top of the bridge, and I'm like, how do I get there? Like it was just really. I was like, how do I force jump my way up there? It was just really hard. I remember that. That was really difficult.
I never played any of the prequels. The only game I played from the prequels was the Pod Racer.
That was fun too.
Which I think was one of my favorite arcade cabinets.
Rogue Squadron was the 2-disc set, right? On the PlayStation, there was a 2-disc game. I think it was Rogue Squadron. I might be wrong.
Rogue Squadron was that. It was that like arcade flyer.
Okay, then there was another. There was a 2-disc game. I remember.
What kind of game was it?
Oh, I don't remember for the life of me. I have no clue anymore. But I remember there was a 2-disc game that I remember playing.
Was it Knights of the Old Republic?
No, it wasn't Knights of the Republic.
Let's see. I'm gonna look up Star Wars.
PlayStation games, I guess, right? This is great podcasting because we're looking things up.
PlayStation 1, right?
PlayStation 1, correct.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah.
PlayStation, I'm going to put 1 game. So
Okay.
Let's see what we got.
Okay.
We got Jedi Power Battles, The Phantom Menace, Dark Forces, Star Wars Demolitions.
Maybe Dark Forces? Uh-huh. Which was their version of Twisted Metal, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Rebel Assault, which is a...
That's what it was. I think it was Rebel Assault.
You know what? Because I think it must have been Rebel Assault 1 and 2. Or maybe just... Oh, this says Rebel Assault 2.
No, I don't remember that.
Rebel Assault 2... Oh, God, I remember going apeshit over wanting to play Rebel Assault.
Yeah.
But I did not have a powerful enough computer to play it. The other big one on PlayStation was Star Wars Masters of Terras Kasi.
Oh, no. Oh, stop it.
Which I think I remember reading not too long ago. Terras Kasi got made. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I know I'm not. Got made canon because I think one of the new characters is a master of Terras Kasi.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah.
That's the one thing that Disney's doing really good is just callbacks.
Callbacks
to random shit.
That's great though. But that game was horrible.
Oh yeah, that game
was so bad. I remember it. The lag was just ridiculous. Reaction times were so bad. In that
one
game.
of my all-time favorite things ever was when The Last Jedi came out. People were giving Rian Johnson shit about what he was doing.
Yeah.
And at the very end, when Luke does his he teleports. He he's on that one planet, but he's projecting. He's somewhere else. And someone was like, "Well, what a random ass force power that you just made up." And it was a video of him in his house. He goes to a shelf, picks up a Star Wars book, some random. He used to make those weird. It's called the Jedi Guide or something. Flips through the pages, gets to a thing that says force projection, and points at it. And it's this was an established Jedi power before I even got here.
Yeah.
And I always just thought that was fucking hilarious.
It's true, dude. I think people forget how wide this universe is, that everything they can nitpick, it's it's already there. Right? The force projection is there already.
And here's the thing, guys. I'm gonna I hope I don't upset anyone.
Yeah, this will be the last thing before we wind it down.
Yeah. But the thing about Star Wars is the thing that is fun about it is that it's kind of ridiculous, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was watching. Actually, you know what? This year, it wasn't on Star Wars Day because I think by the time we realized what was going on, with my kids, I'm we can't watch the movie. But I let them watch Star Wars a couple days later, the first one, New Hope. And I remember I had this thought where they're explaining the Death Star trench run.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "You're going to need to use a targeting computer because the shaft is 2 meters."
Yeah.
And then I sat and thought, and I'm like, an X-Wing has a hard time hitting something that's 6 feet wide?
Yeah.
2 meters is 6 feet.
Yeah.
And it has a hard time hitting something.
It has a hard time, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So
because they're proton torpedoes.
Because they're proton torpedoes, right? So I'm like, all right. 6 feet wide. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big hole.
Yeah, that's what she said.
The other thing, the other thing that I always thought, because people were giving, I made this point when people were giving shit to The Last Jedi, right? So they do this dumb thing with the dropping in space. It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, well, in the original Star Wars, when they do the trench run, right? My whole thing is if the Death Star is a sphere, right?
Yeah.
And the exhaust port is on the surface of that sphere, why wouldn't you just, and I know no one can see what I'm doing, but why wouldn't you just go down onto the trench, down onto the exhaust port?
Yeah, of course.
Rather than fly across the surface of this planet that's covered in lasers. Why wouldn't you just zoom in, shoot a bunch of torpedoes at this 6-foot hole, and then just bounce?
But I think that's the same idea as
I'm like,
the same idea as when you're watching, I don't know, Scream, And they're like, why don't you just run out of the house?
Because it's a better movie.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same reason why in Jurassic Park, the T-Rex walks out of the fence, and then when it throws this car over, there's a giant chasm there.
Yeah.
Did you ever notice that?
Yes.
Because it's a better movie.
It's a better movie.
The best part of Star Wars is the trench run.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like you can't apply logic to a world where laser swords and these crazy Jedi Knights are running around solving a problem. It's fun. Just enjoy it.
Yeah. Have you played Star Wars X-Wing?
X-Wing is
The
one of
Top
my
Flight? Yeah.
X-Wing was one of my all-time favorite video games.
No, I'm talking about the Top Flight, the miniatures.
Oh, the miniatures, yeah.
Yeah.
I've played it a couple times.
I have. We should really do that then.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
a fun
have
one.
Do you have anything? Do you have
I
any? Of that
don't
stuff?
have any of that
Okay,
stuff.
then this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna set something up, and you and I are gonna play some Star Wars X-Wing. I have 3 X-Wings. I have the two ties, and then I think I have the Vader one, and I also have a couple of other things to make it a little larger.
Okay.
But we can always start off small.
Okay.
Yeah, I have everything.
I've
So
only
that should be fun.
played like a dogfight with one other person.
Yeah.
Elias, the guy that used
cool.
to play, he had him.
Oh, okay.
And
It's
he
a
used to
lot of
bring
fun,
them.
actually.
It was cool.
I wish I have one of my buddies. Shout out to Wes if you're listening. Him and I have played about once or twice, and it was a lot of fun. It's just the setup is real,
Yeah, that I remember.
Yeah.
That I remember.
but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Well, I should say that the setting up of your your ships is pretty intense because you have to be able to. It can get a little confusing if you don't know what you're doing, but there's a video online that actually explains everything very, very, very well. And the best way to start is just getting the starter kit. I have a starter kit, and it's a mess everywhere. At this point, I want to put it aside and just buy a brand new one because everything's organized already, because I have no idea where everything goes. Because I have so many different ships in there, I'm like, I don't know where any of this goes. Like, I'd rather just redo everything. It's so annoying, but that was my fault, though, for not being a little more organized. Yeah.
That's always been a hard part about anything with miniatures.
Yes.
Is they just get lost. Or
Yes.
And if
Yeah.
you have kids, forget it.
Yes.
I haven't busted out any of my miniatures.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a game in soon. Absolutely, we're gonna have to do
That
one of
is
those.
for sure.
What are your final thoughts on Star Wars Day?
I mean, I always enjoy it. I look forward to next year, hopefully, some other bar having a party and me just being a better behaved person. But I always enjoy it, man. It's a fun thing.
With the restroom, not a bathroom.
It's a colloquialism, man.
Oh, okay.
It's a colloquialism.
I love Star Wars Day. It brings a nostalgic feel to my life because even till this day, I love Star Wars. I will always watch Star Wars. If it's on television, if it pops up on I will always sit down and watch Star Wars.
It's a classic.
What a better time! In all honesty, I think we've spoken about this before, but what a better time to be a Star Wars fan than now. Honestly, this is great.
We basically got everything we wanted, right?
And more.
And more.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a good time. So everybody, if you guys haven't seen any Star Wars, please go out and watch some Star Wars. But I think it's time to wind it down on our final segment of the night, which is the wind down, where we talk about topics around the world that interest us.
Yeah, just random stuff.
Just random stuff, yeah. But obviously, since it's Star Wars, we might as well talk about some Star Wars, right?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the fun things about Star Wars Day is you get a lot of these cool kind of collectibles.
And if you guys can hear the plane, we apologize.
We have it's hot. It's starting to get hot in Southern California.
So we have the door open a little. We have the door open. So
I'm looking at I'm on IGN right now, and they have a bunch of, let's call them more upscale collectibles.
Okay.
We're talking like Gentle Giant. We're talking Hot Toys. We're talking Sideshow collectibles.
Those are the best. Sideshow collectibles, like they're what's that word I'm looking for? They're points. Oh gosh, when it comes to figures, when they have their based on their point. Oh my gosh,
the points of articulation.
Yeah, points of articulation. Thank you.
Are you talking about Sideshow or are you talking about Hot Toys? Because I think Sideshow does like statues. Do they also make?
I'm thinking of never mind. I'm thinking of the wrong one.
Because the Sideshow,
you're right. Because Sideshow does have statues. Yeah,
the Sideshow one I'm talking. So I'm looking at this one. It's It's an Ahsoka Tano.
Okay.
Like legit.
Oh, that looks amazing.
It's only $600. Probably not gonna pick that one.
That's my stimulus check. What
It's
are you
your stimulus check. Just do it. So this is a hot toy. Mandalorian and the Blurg from the Mandalorian show. And then they've got this Bad Batch Hot Toys Echo. If I could, which hot toy would you get? Because I know I have one particular that if I could figure it out, I would get it. I'm looking at that. What you were just looking at was Biggs Darklighter.
Yeah.
They have a bust that's Gentle Giant. The Clone Wars Gentle Giant.
Was the Boba Fett Unleashed, the animated one, was that a hot toy? The one from the Celebration?
The one in my cabinet.
Yeah, the one in your cabinet?
A Sideshow collectible.
Okay, that's what I would want.
Yeah.
That's something that because I remember, I think we went to the same celebration. We didn't go together that year. Did we go together that year?
I think we met up, but I don't think we
didn't go. Yeah, we didn't go that year together, right?
Yeah.
So you have bought one. I remember you telling me I just bought this, and I was contemplating buying it. I think it was like $100, and I didn't bite the bullet at the time, and I regret it because they're so expensive now. It's hard to find. On top of that and my Supergirl Amikami, the first wave, her original costume, the non-variant one. Those are the two that I'm looking for. Outside of Star Wars, those are the two. That statue and then the Boba Fett. But hot toy, I'm not really sure. How about you?
I you know what? I'm gonna look it up just to see how much it costs now.
Yeah.
But the Mark I Iron Man.
Hot things. Yeah, those are great.
So I'm gonna look up Mark I Iron Man hot toy, and oh look, it's already.
Yeah.
Okay, it is now going for used $800.
Wow.
$738 on eBay.
They just came out with a new suit too, didn't they? On is it the Disney Channel or Disney? I think they're doing an animated series on Iron Man or something like that, and he's having. I think it was like the Mark 90 or something. 91.
There were a bunch. I know, like even towards the end of the Avenger, like the MCU run, it was up there.
Yeah.
I do know that one of the next Marvel things is the What If series.
Yeah.
Which is animated.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
So that'll be cool too.
Yeah. The Hulkbuster suit
was legit.
Yeah,
too.
that thing's legit. I like the statue one too. That one's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a X-Men. I think it might be a hot toy, if I remember correctly. I think it was hot toy. It's a 4-piece with Wolverine, Cyclops, Gambit, Magneto. Not 100% sure. And then it has a Sentinel, like torn apart on the bottom of the base.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
I think it's 4 or 5 pieces, and the Sentinel eyes light up.
Yeah,
I want that.
Yeah.
And they used to have that at Atomic Comics when I was there. They only had 2 pieces of it, but I should have bought them. Damn, isn't that the worst part when it comes to collectibles? You're just like, dude, do I have room for this?
Yeah.
And then now at this point, I'm like, I just wish I bought them because
Right.
I want them. Yeah. And now they're just so expensive to find.
Oh, this I pulled it up. It says Hulkbuster, $250. I'm like, no way, and it's the accessory set.
Nah.
Fucking yeah.
Yeah, that's where they get you.
I think the Hulkbuster are like the actual thing is about $1,500.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
So
it's
if you
insane
guys,
amount of money.
if anyone out there is looking to buy something, a collectible, and you're not sure if $100 is too pricey, it's not. And just bite the bullet. If you can afford it, just do it.
Yeah.
Because then 5 years later, you're going to be just like me looking for things that are $400 or $500, and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
If you really want it.
Yeah.
If you have room.
Obviously.
Because there's a lot of things that we want, not necessarily that we need, right? But some of these are pretty
you
great.
had mentioned earlier, Funko Pop, right? They're going to be
that's right.
releasing all of the Bounty Hunters.
GameStop. GameStop is releasing, I believe, 2 per week. Or 2 a month, I'm sorry. I think it's 2 per week or bi-weekly, something like that. And they're releasing all 8 from The Empire Strikes Back. And the beauty of it is that you can actually snap them together.
Yeah, it looks like it comes on a little, like a little display case in it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It turns into one giant
display. It turns into one giant display. That's right.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
That is kind of cool.
Yeah, that is pretty rad. To have all the bounty hunters would be pretty cool.
All right, man. Do we want to talk about this weird EVE Online, or should we just move on? We'll talk about it another day.
We'll talk about another day. I think we're running a little long today.
We're almost an hour.
Yeah, I think we're good here.
All right.
Let's keep it Star Wars-esque, right?
Right.
I think
it was a good one.
I think it was good. Jose, where can people find us on the interweb?
Well, I'm glad.
Well, actually, the question is, if people want to ask us what the difference between a restroom and a bathroom is, where can they find us?
If people want to ask that, they can just talk to Renee. Because I have no time for this foolishness.
Okay.
I have no time for this.
That's what happens when you're just a smart person. Very intellect. Never mind. Just
See what happens?
Just go.
You see how karma works? The universe knows, and it's upset.
Go on the internet. Go on the @halfstepdownpod on Twitter, and just tell Jose that he's being a super dick today. #super dick.
Don't look. I understand you're upset. Okay, we all get upset. Our feelings are feelings, and we have to feel them the way we feel.
Correct.
There's no need to name call.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know, man. You derail the stories with your little nitpicks here.
Yeah.
Okay, it happens. Yeah. But if you did want to find us, and you just wanted to be a cool dude, you can go to halfstepdownpod.com.
#cool dudes.
It is your one-stop shop for all things Half Step Down. If you are on Instagram and Twitter, you can follow us at halfstepdownpod. Check out the Instagram stories where we will someday post. I promise. I did throw a few songs in the playlist.
Yeah. I was supposed to. I just forgot.
So that's getting
that
updated.
On there. Yeah, I should
throw in a few songs.
Yeah.
If you're on Facebook, facebook.com/halfstepdownpod. We're on YouTube. If you look up Half Step Down Pod in the YouTube search bar, you can find all the episodes on there.
#road to 100.
If we can get to 100, we can get a custom URL, and it'll be a lot easier for people to find it.
YouTube.com/halfstepdownpod.
Half Step Down Pod.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, check out the Spotify playlist. The link is always in the description. If you like what you hear, rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. And if you want to help spread the word, use #HalfStepDownPod. And then finally, Titan Radio.
No, it's gone.
Titan Radio is gone.
Yeah.
But it was a good show while it was on. And when it comes back in the fall.
Did you enjoy it, Jose?
I actually listened to, I want to say like 5, 6, 7 episodes.
I like that. I appreciate that.
I put them on in the background, so it was really good. It was good.
I appreciate that.
It was good.
I appreciate that. I'll be back in September.
Back in September at 7 on Thursdays, or are they going to change it?
I'll probably end up changing it. Yeah.
Okay, but
depends on my schedule. But I had a lot of fun. I think this time around I'll be actually in the studio, so that should be cool.
That should be fun.
Yeah, that should be a lot of fun.
So look for it in the fall when we get to that.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I play a bunch of pop punk stuff and punk, and sometimes I'll throw some hip hop, and it's great.
Just mix it up.
Just to mix it up. Yeah. Sweet deal, Jose.
All right, guys.
All right,
we reached the end.
We have reached the end of our amazing Star Wars Day podcast. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Jose, it's great to see you as always.
Yes,
vaccinations are the best because now we can hang out.
We can hang out. We can do things. I'm excited.
Yes, absolutely. So we shall see everybody next time. Take care.
See ya.
Yeah, give it up for this guy. I promise you guys.
Just so we're all clear, that was not like a real song. Okay. I made that up.